Hello! In this video, we will begin talking about using details to support inferences. Remember, an inference is a conclusion based on evidence and one's own knowledge or experience. When you are making an inference, you are being a good reading detective. You are taking the clues from the text and combining it with your own background knowledge or experience and making a good conclusion about something from the text. Remember, an author tells you lots of things, but they don't tell you everything. Some things you have to infer on your own. You have to make a good conclusion based on clues from what you read and what you already know. For example, earlier I saw a teacher talking to a group of students. The students all laughed. I didn't hear what the teacher said, but I can infer that it was funny. My evidence is that the students were laughing. My experience is that in the past, when I've seen people laughing, it's because something was funny. So I take my evidence, the students laughing, my experience, when people laugh, it's because something is funny, and I combine that to make an inference that what the teacher said must have been something funny. When an author does not state something explicitly, you have to make an inference to decide what is happening. Inferences about literature come from your own life experiences, as well as what you've come across in other stories, television shows, or movies. In a literary text, the author will state some things directly, but not everything is stated directly. Sometimes we have to infer what the author means. Making an inference means combining what we read with what we know from our experience. Always support your inferences with evidence. Quotes from a text are a very strong form of evidence. So let's practice. Let's take a look at this cartoon. We'll see in the first scene, the man is cooking and the woman saying, "What's cooking?" In the next scene, the man is asking or telling her, "It's a new recipe. Tell me what you think." And in the final scene, we see that she's making a strange face while the man looks worried. So what inference can we make about this cartoon? Well, let's start with the evidence. Remember, the evidence is the clues that the author, or in this case the illustrator, gives us. First piece of evidence is that the man is cooking. The second piece of evidence is that he asks the woman to taste it. The next piece of evidence is that she tastes it and then makes a weird face. And our final piece of evidence is that the man looks worried after the woman's reaction. Now, those are the evidence, the clues we found in the cartoon. Let's think about our experiences. What do we already know that can help us better understand this cartoon? Well, my experience tells me that if a person makes a weird face after eating something, the food probably tastes bad. So what inference can I make then? I can make the inference that the woman thinks the food tastes terrible. Now look, the illustrator and the author nowhere showed that the woman says, "Oh, this tastes terrible." I could infer it, I could make that conclusion based on the evidence that I saw and my past experience. That is how you make a good inference. Let's try another one. Suppose I return quizzes you took last week. Your friend looks at her quiz and smiles. What could you infer from that evidence? You can infer that she got a good grade on the quiz. What evidence supports your inference? Your evidence is the fact that she smiles after reading her grade. What in your own experience supports that inference? Your experience or your own knowledge tells you that people often smile when they get good news, or in this case, a good grade. So based on that experience, as well as the fact that the evidence said she did smile, you can infer that she got a good grade. All right, before we take this experience with inferencing and try it with the literary article, I want to review some key vocabulary words. An inference is a conclusion that you make based on your own knowledge and evidence from the text. Remember, when you're making an inference, you're being a reading detective. You're looking for clues and then using those clues along with your own experiences to make a good conclusion. What is evidence? Proof that supports your inferences. Clues from the text. Remember, when you quote, which is the best form of evidence, you're going to take words directly from the text. You always use quotation marks around your quotes to show that these are words you took directly from the text. All right, this is the end of this video. Your next video is going to be all about how to make inferences in a literary text.